Hey guys, welcome back to
How Did We Get Here?
It's Beth and Kelsey, again, just come in to chat while we drink coffee and watch the snowstorm blow in.
Yes, we're having our first snows of the year here, and it's actually quite cozy.
It is. I don't know, I just love these days when it's like cloudy and I was about to say moist. It's cloudy and moist outside.
There are better words.
There are definitely better words. But anyways, I love being able to just snuggle up on the couch and with a good cup of coffee, some Genesis coffee.
Oh, plug for Genesis coffee. It is
Genesis
amazing.
Coffee.
We're at Beth's house right now.
Yes.
On the couch.
Yes. And just it's kind of a like weird, relaxing, peaceful day. So I was just thinking, like, what is your favorite like thing to do on days like today? Like, you know, like I used to hate going to work on days like today when it's super cloudy and like overcast and snowing now. Because I just wanted to stay at home and do this, like sit in my recliner with a blanket and watch TV.
Yes.
What do you like to do?
Pretty much the same thing. I love to be home. I love to have a slow morning, make coffee.
You love not to be driving in it?
I love not to be driving in it, mainly. Maybe read a book if I have a good book to read.
Yeah. What kind of book would you read on a day like today? Like, would it be, like, I don't know, not necessarily would it be the Bible or what, like, because it probably, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but what kind of book would you read if you could pick a book right now? Or are you reading a book now?
Oh, great question. I am reading a book right now, and it's part of a series. I have never read the Percy Jackson series, but one of the kids I tutor, who is probably listening, hello, love you, has lent me her series of Percy Jackson. So I'm on the third book. I saw the movie. There's only one, right?
No.
Oh, the show.
No, there's 3 movies.
There's 3 movies?
Yeah.
Do they get any better than the first one? Because if they don't, I don't.
like the movies.
Oh, how funny.
Okay, I'm more of a movie than a book kind of person.
Interesting.
Like, I do like to read, but it has to be like something really, really good. But, like, it has to grab my attention. But we watch a lot of movies, so we have all the movies.
Interesting. I watched the first one in high school. All I remember about that movie is Lady Gaga's poker face was in the hotel scene. So... poker face.
That's so funny.
Yep, exactly.
So, are you liking the books, the Percy Jackson?
I do like them. They're very cozy.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
I just never would have pictured that's what you would be reading.
I love fantasy.
Oh.
And I love, like, I don't know, books like that. Like, I've read the whole Harry Potter series. Actually, that is probably the ideal thing to read on a snowy day like this.
Harry Potter?
Yes. And, okay, picture this. It's not the first book because it's just not. Okay, just
Okay, got it.
But maybe it's like the third book and you're kind of into the series, so you know the characters. It's snowing outside. It's warm inside. The wood stove is going.
Ooh, yes, wood stove. You got me at wood stove.
They're returning to Hogwarts. You know, it's not their first year. They're kind of used to things. Yeah, that would be the ideal.
That would be ideal. I'm more of a like TV show kind of person. Like, I don't know why I'm like so addicted to Gilmore Girls, but that would be like because I already know all the characters. I already sort of know what's gonna happen. It's not like I like have it all memorized, but like, just watching Gilmore Girls on a snowy afternoon.
Yeah, it's a comfort show.
Lorelai loves the snow. She can smell the snow coming.
That's a little weird.
Yeah. Well,
how do you smell snow?
You cannot smell the snow coming.
No, but I can smell a sneeze.
My body can feel the snow coming, you know, my 30-year-old body.
I know. Earlier, Beth was like, this explains why my body hurts. I was like, tell me you're over 30 without telling me you're over 30.
Yeah. So I would be doing the same thing minus the book. Same thing as you.
Yes.
I probably wouldn't be reading a book. I just don't have the capacity in my brain.
I also do love reality TV, though.
Yeah.
So that's maybe what I'd be watching.
Yeah, reality. I called it trash TV earlier, but I mean, it is kind of what it is.
Some of it's really trash.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It's true.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
It's just fun to, like, go into their lives and be like, wow, you have a really sucky life.
At least my life's not like this.
And it's so dramatic. Yeah. Okay, so right now I'm watching Virgin River. Not right now, as we speak. But it's just so addicting because I'm like, I just want to know what kind of dramatic thing happens next. Like,
yeah, what plot twist could they possibly invent?
Like now they're in the middle of a forest fire.
Oh.
Like, I mean, that's not crazy, but it's like some of it I'm like, where did you come from?
But for that amount of things to happen to the same person.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Producers are just like, what's the worst thing that could happen to somebody? And then what's the second worst thing? And then what's the other worst thing?
And then we will put it in this TV show and make it work.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's how Virgin River is. It's like one crappy thing after another. And I'm just like, what is happening?
Yes. So those are two of your, guilty pleasure comfort shows. What are your top 5?
Top 5?
Top 5.
I have some movies that I can watch over and over again, but I don't know why I can't think of any of them off the top of my head. I do like Hocus Pocus. That is a really good movie, especially now since Halloween is coming up. And then there is one movie. Well, I do like all the Jumanji movies, all the new ones.
The what?
Jumanji.
Jumanji?
You've never watched
Jumanji?
Whatever it's called. You never watched them?
No, well, I've seen one of the new ones.
I really hate the newest one. It's not the greatest, but whatever. The Notebook. I could watch that movie so many times over and over again. Or A Walk to Remember.
Oh.
Love that one.
I used to love A Walk to Remember. I don't think I could watch it anymore. But fun fact about The Notebook. So recently I was at a friend's house and I kind of joked that we should watch The Notebook because it's like, the stereotypical chick flick.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, let's watch The Notebook. And so we watched it. I bawled. Like tears streaming down my face, hiccup crying.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna tear up now. Why am I tearing up? It was so sweet and so sad.
It is. It's so sad.
And I think, I had seen it once before, and so I told myself, you're not going to cry at this movie because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everybody cries at this movie, and that's the weirdest thing ever. But no, I was bawling.
Oh no. I feel like that way even with movies or TV shows that I've seen a million times. Like, they just, hit you in a different way sometimes. Okay, specifically with Gilmore Girls. Whenever Rory is, graduating from high school and, moving on with life and, moving out, I feel like that's my life right now. Yeah. And then I go back to this time in my life when I was pregnant as a teenager. Do you remember the movie Juno?
No, I've never seen that.
It was a really dumb movie about a pregnant teenager. And I just remember my dad asking me, he said, why are you watching this when we're living it right now?
Thanks, Dad.
So every time I go to the Gilmore Girls episodes where Rory's graduating and moving on with life, in my head I'm like, why are you watching this when this is your life right now?
Yeah, but then you relate to it so much. And you're like, I'm not the only one.
You end up ugly crying over it.
Yeah.
Because whatever, that's how life is, right? But in case you wanted to know, I have a whole Nicholas Sparks movie collection.
Oh my gosh.
It's the ones that no one has really ever heard of.
Like what? I've probably read the books.
Well, it's 4. There's 4. You've probably read the books.
I probably
That's probably
have.
why I've never heard of them, because I never read the books. There's 4 of them. Message in a Bottle.
Oh.
A couple other. But I'll have to lend it to you, because they're really cute.
Yeah. If I feel like ugly crying, sure.
Well, and then, since winter's here, it's here now. It's not coming anymore.
It's here. It's out the window right now.
Yeah. Now you can just cuddle up and watch a movie with your fireplace.
Yes.
Not with your fireplace.
Single life, just me and my fireplace.
Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on. Me and my fireplace.
Well, I guess the question would be, normally we're in our tutoring center recording. We had a guest last week. We had Dave, which was amazing. It seems like people are really enjoying that episode. If you've not heard it, you should definitely go back and listen to it.
I think I might go back just to hear. This sounds a little obsessive, but just to hear Dave talk again, because he had some really good things.
He did, yeah. I know, I was so encouraged. I felt the Lord in that Chili's tonight. So you should listen to that if you have not.
So yeah, so why are we not in the tutoring center?
Why are we at your
sitting on
house?
my couch on a Wednesday randomly?
Why am I drinking coffee at 2 p.m. is the real question.
Kelsey's gonna be wide awake later.
I am a strictly decaf after 12 type person.
Do not be texting me at 10:30 expecting me to be awake, okay?
You never know, Beth.
That's true. I could be Googling Uganda again. So we are not at our co-working space today because I have a sick child. Yeah. As he sits breathing down my neck behind me. No, I'm just kidding.
If you hear the coughing in the background, that's him.
It's not me. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning in like this season of life. I don't know, for the past year since I've been self-employed, interestingly enough. I feel like there's been a lot of things that the Lord is showing me, but I feel like he just keeps bringing me back to the same thing. And sometimes it's a little irritating because I'm like, why have I not learned this by now? Which I don't know if we ever completely learn it or if it's just like something that we continually have to do with the Lord. But a lot of us have been talking about like going and asking the Lord each day, like what we should be doing or something we should be doing. And when I first left the bank and I started on this self-employment journey, I would ask the Lord every day, like, hey, like what's one thing I'm supposed to do today, or what am I supposed to do today in general, because I had no idea what I was doing. And I did that for a while, and then I kind of got lax on it, like, you know, a good little Christian. I'm just kidding. And but now in the like for the bakery, I ask him each day like something that what I should be making, because it stresses me out. Like some days I'm like, I can't even think about cooking dinner for my family, and you want me to cook food for people to sell, like. So it stresses me out a little bit sometimes. So when I feel that stress start coming, I'm like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to make today? What's going to sell this week? What do I need to be doing? And I felt like yesterday, it was so funny, I felt like the Lord said, you should make tomato soup and grilled cheese tomorrow. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, there's some logistical things. Like, number one, how do I keep a grilled cheesy, like crunchy and delicious?
Oh, yeah.
While not preparing it in front of, like, you know, right there in the truck.
Have to get a panini press.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to keep a grilled cheese warm and delicious and
not moist.
And figure out how to make tomato soup, because I've never made that from not a can before. So I'm like, okay, well, that's great. But I felt like this whole piece about it. I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to make tomato soup and grilled cheese. And I had it set in my mind. My middle child came down with some sort of weird headache thing, stomach ache. I have really no idea what it was, but I stayed home, and I was a little bit like frustrated with myself, like, man, like, why am I doing nothing again? Why am I just sitting here doing absolutely nothing when I feel like I should be doing something? Because from my mind and like a world perspective, sitting on the couch taking care of my child is not providing for my family, you know, but it's providing something different. I know. Thank you. But anyways, it was so funny. I mentioned to Caden this morning, I was like, have you ever had a grilled cheese? And he was like, no. He's like, but I've had tomato soup and I love tomato soup.
Caden has never had a grilled cheese?
He said he thought he didn't like it because of...
What?
Here's the thing. When Caden was younger, he used to hate square cheese. Specifically square cheese.
But round cheese, shredded cheese, all fine.
He hated square cheese specifically. He'd be like, I don't like square cheese. So he's like, I was like, whatever, this is weird. So he's like, oh, but I do like tomato soup. And I'm like, how the heck do you know you like tomato soup, but you don't know if you like a grilled cheese? So, and that's not something we normally eat in our house. But then this morning, I'm over here making tomato soup and grilled cheese for my child, because the Lord told me, tomorrow you will make tomato soup and grilled cheese. And it doesn't look like what I thought it would look like. It looks completely like what the Lord thought it was going to look like. It was one of those moments where I was like getting his sandwich on the plate, and I was like, oh, you did tell me I was going to do this today. But in my mind, it was for my business. It was to be profitable, right? But I was profiting in something else, like in connection with my child and like nurturing mother Like, it was what the Lord wanted and not what I wanted and not what I was, like, expecting at all. So, we've all been there where we're like, oh, the Lord just gives us these little things and we're just like, what the heck? Or sometimes we miss the little things that he tells us. Like, if I hadn't already been in this spot of like, okay, Lord, what are we doing today? I wouldn't have recognized the fact that this is what he wanted me to do today. And he told me that's what he wanted me to do today, yesterday, but like I wouldn't have recognized it and I would have still been sitting here in my guilt of, oh my gosh, I'm not doing anything today and I'm not productive for my family, but I was. So the Lord has an interesting way of showing us those like tiny little nuggets, and like we just have to realize when to capture them, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and not get so fixated on our interpretation of what he means.
Right.
Like, well, he said I was going to make grilled cheese and tomato soup, so I better do it and get it shipped off to the truck and have someone work the truck and...
Exactly.
You know, but just be like, oh, I guess he meant for me to make food for my kid. Yeah. And take care of him.
Yeah. And it's a good comfort, like, food, right? Like, it's not... It's like a soul food, you know? So... Like, he just wanted to take that. I have the words in my brain, but they're not coming out. That, like, nutrient-dense food for both of us. Like, it was feeding me in my spirit, but also giving my child nutrients, if that makes sense. I don't really know.
It was grilled cheese for the soul.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Soup for the soul.
Yeah, tomato soup for the soul. It's like those books, and chicken soup for the teenage soul, or whatever it is. That's exactly Why do I remember that? And not where have I seen it? I don't know.
We did put an egg on our grilled cheese, which Kaden is whispering behind me. The
real question is, did it have square cheese?
It did.
This is a big day.
Kaden ate
square cheese. Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
So, have you ever had one of those moments where you were, like, the same kind of concept, like, where the Lord told you were going to do something, but in your mind it looked different, and then when it happened, you were like, oh, that's what you meant?
I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, a daily example. The only thing that's really coming to mind is my whole journey with teaching and pursuing education. And when I started that, in high school, or when I first like caught the vision from the Lord, I saw a one-room schoolhouse, like a little space just to teach a few kids, and I knew that they would be missionary kids in some way. And I thought it would be cool to just serve one family or two families or something like that. And then went into, college and got my degree in elementary ed, and then taught in a Christian school for a couple of years and did student teaching before that and all of that. So it kind of went the traditional route of, well, if you're going to be a teacher, this is how to do it.
Right.
But it's cool now, like having the tutoring space and working with just a few kids, usually one-on-one or two-on-one.
Yeah.
And it's not overseas, so I don't know how that part of it fits in or what the Lord really meant. Not yet. We'll see. But to see how I thought I was going to get to like my goal or my dream in a specific way, but the Lord kind of led me on the back roads, and I ended up in a place that just fits my heart so much better and fits my giftings. And it's the same thing, like it doesn't feel like stress or striving.
Right.
Like I'm not exhausted all the time, and I have creativity. I have extra time in this time of my life, which is great.
Right.
But if I would have just kept on going in the traditional education world, it wouldn't have been what the Lord wants for me.
Yeah.
Also, I just have to say, the snow is magical. It's just fluttering down. Such big flakes.
It is. That's why I was looking at. The flakes are huge. So we've been talking about in ladies group, which is like a little group that we've started on Tuesday mornings. And one of the girls has been talking about how her and her husband have been doing this, asking the Lord for like at least one thing to do each day. And whether it's like, sit down and take a nap, or like something little, kind of thing, or if it's a big thing, whatever. But she was saying how when she's doing these things that the Lord has told her to do, she feels so much energy in doing them. And that's how this like season has felt to me, is like, when I start doing the things that I know the Lord is telling me to do, I just get so much energy, like you were saying, and so much peace over it. And it's not like striving. It's exactly where the Lord wants our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though like in my worldly mind, like sitting here and being unproductive for the day is like killing my mindset. But in my heart, I know like I have peace, and I just have like this clarity over what the Lord has wanted me to do. So it's very interesting. Like I don't even remember how you said it. Like, yeah, you said something that was really good. How you felt when the Lord, like in your like teaching
With
season, like felt at peace, and I don't know. I was just thinking about that because I just remember one of the ladies saying that, like, I just feel so good. Like, I can be so tired and worn out and have a newborn baby who doesn't sleep. And the Lord told me to make bread, and all of a sudden I have energy to make bread because that's what the Lord wants me to do. And it fills your heart so much to just do the one thing that He's asking you to do each day, even if it's just making tomato soup and grilled cheese.
Yeah.
In a way that you never expected.
With square cheese.
With square
and
cheese.
an egg. Yeah. I've been learning a lot about Sabbath over the past couple of years. And actually, it's something that I want to get into a lot more. I don't remember if we've talked about this.
I
but
think we have. Maybe not.
The book with the red cover, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry.
Oh, yeah. Is it red or orange?
Oh, I've always seen it as red.
I'm pretty sure the copy I have is orange.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you've read this book, put it in the comments. Is it red or orange?
Yes.
Am I colorblind or not?
I'll pull it out in a second.
Well, anyway, that book, red, orange, whatever it is, talks a lot about how God designed people for Sabbath, and even God rested on the seventh day.
Yeah.
And he gave this stat or this fact: Seventh-day Adventists, because they practice resting intentionally, actually live that much longer. Like the sum of all the Sabbaths added up. And maybe the same is true for people in Judaism who practice Sabbath. And so I've just wondered what that would look like.
Yeah.
I have friends who are really good about practicing Sabbath days and like intentionally doing things that are delightful or restful or worshipful.
We try to make Sundays, I mean, I know it's kind of cliche, like Sunday or whatever, and we do like worship and stuff like that in church, but we try to make Sundays our Sabbath, but it's just, life is chaotic.
I saw something once that said, if the devil can't make you sin, he'll make you busy.
Yes.
And I feel like that's pretty accurate.
The enemy wants us anxious, distracted, and afraid of missing out. So, like, for me today, he wants me to be afraid of missing out of whatever would have come to my business today, like financially or like whatever. He wants me to be afraid of missing out on that. But I'm not, because I got to do what Jesus wanted me to do instead.
It's like what Dave was talking about last week with like Matthew 6 and God's provision and like the day by day manna of God.
Yeah.
Like if the Israelites had gathered more manna, and they tried to gather enough for like multiple days or a week or something, and it molded and went bad.
Right.
They could only collect what they needed for that day. And so I think even with recording this podcast today, normally I have so many ideas.
Yeah.
And like a plan.
I usually depend on Kelsey. Just kidding.
It's just so fun for me to come up with what we should talk about. Or I even texted Beth. I was like, who should we interview? And so we had a couple ideas of people, and then it just didn't feel right. We were like, maybe we just need a day for us to chat and catch up.
Which is actually kind of funny because, like, now, today was perfect. Like, it's not stressful. And not that any of this has been super stressful for me anyway, so I guess I'm not the one coming up with the episode ideas. But,
it has not been stressful.
But, like, today just felt, like, super natural and what the Lord had, I think.
Yeah, just cozy on a couch.
Yeah.
With some 2 p.m. coffee.
Watching the sun. The sun?
Well,
no. There is no sun, just FYI.
Just snow.
Wow, I really like that, what you said about the manna. That was good. I don't want whatever the Lord is giving me to go moldy or bad, and I don't want him to give me too much that it does go moldy or bad, or I don't want to collect too much that goes moldy or bad. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, nobody wants moldy manna.
Yeah, and I don't want to be like anxious or worried about whatever the enemy wants me to worry about. I just want to do whatever the Lord wants. So.
Yeah, and then the days that are more crazy, that aren't sitting at home and making tomato soup and grilled cheese with an egg and square cheese, you have the energy and the grace for that because you've rested well on the days that he invites you to.
Exactly. I like how this became like an interview about Beth's life. I'm just kidding. A little intervention. Just kidding.
We are in your house. Tell us. How's it
what
going?
Is happening here? Okay, so I have one question. Actually, I have really something for you to ponder about square cheese, actually.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny that this came up. If sandwich bread is square, why is sandwich meat round?
I don't know, and maybe this is one of the reasons I detest sandwiches so much.
I actually really hate cold deli sandwich meat.
Oh
It's
my
just
gosh,
so
nothing is
slimy
worse.
and gross.
Thin sliced. Oh, I just thought of something funny though.
I thought you saw something and your face just looked so shocked.
No, it was such a strong memory. As soon as you said deli meat, this really came to mind. When I was a kid, I would do homeschool, you know, I'd be reading my homeschool books, and I would chew turkey deli meat, the thin sliced turkey deli meat, as gum.
Nope.
I would chew it
That's
so
gross.
long that it became gum.
I think turkey deli meat is probably the worst because it's like so slimy and it smells bad.
Akin to gum. Not smelling bad, but the texture is akin to gum. So once you like chew it long enough, it does kind of disintegrate into like bits
like
of turkey.
Juicy
Juicy deli meat.
Ew.
Yep.
No.
Anyway, what were we talking about before? Oh, we were talking about
Why is it a circle?
because it's
Because all your corners have no meat.
See, this is why I just take apart sandwiches.
And this is probably why they made cheese square.
This is probably why they did. But then I'm sure there is deli meat that's square.
Companies just haven't caught on yet.
Maybe it just comes in like a big circular log. And so
I don't want to think about that either.
yeah, this is going downhill
when
really
Ethan,
fast.
When Ethan was in Boy Scouts, we had these potluck dinners, and their troop leader was a very interesting person. But he made this like weird canned ham type thing. It was like a log of deli ham. It wasn't real ham. It was very processed ham. And he cooked it in a crock pot in Pepsi. Braun and I, every time we see one of those hams, we're like, you want to cook this in Pepsi?
As soon as you said canned ham, I got the worst goosebumps. Canned ham. And then Pepsi? Well, then you said crock pot, and then that had me thinking about crock dogs. Hot dogs in a crock pot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
Okay, we should maybe move on from nasty deli meat looking conversation.
Yeah, how did this end up? How did we get
I was
here?
thinking about square cheese and square bread and round deli meat.
That is weird.
Yeah.
We need to contact. Let's write some letters.
If anybody knows why deli meat is round, let us know.
Or why is bread not round?
That's true. Why are they?
Some bread is round.
Our voice from the heavens just said some bread is round.
Yeah.
But not much. Like a baguette, but baguettes are not big enough to make sandwiches on usually, are they?
No.
No, they're too big to mix.
I don't know.
The great sandwich debate
Yeah.
of 2024.
I was going to say 2028 because it rhymed.
We'll probably still be debating about it in 2028, so you're not wrong. I don't have a ponder, but I do have some questions for you.
Okay, I guess I'm ready. Let's do one at a time.
Okay, so first of all, what are your thoughts on Bigfoot?
I'm not sure that he exists, but maybe he does. I don't know. I think he's just made up. He's like a propaganda. They just use it to make money. And if he is real, then I feel bad for the man because they did use him to make money.
Is Bigfoot a man?
I don't know.
What
he
even
a
is
gorilla?
Bigfoot?
I don't know.
I'm
You're
thinking
asking
about it.
You're the one asking me the question about Bigfoot, and you don't even know what he is.
Yeah, he's a creature, isn't he?
I don't know. I thought it was
Who
a
wanders
hairy
like
man.
the forests, and
Creature
voice from the heavens says maybe he's a yeti.
A yeti. Speaking of hairy things,
Oh, Harry Potter?
are eyebrows considered facial hair?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. But not like
Like a
facial
beard,
hair.
like, or
Yeah.
a mustache.
I mean, hopefully eyebrows never get to the extent that
Kelsey,
a
your
beard or
facial
a
hair is
mustache.
getting a little out of control.
Usually.
I need to go wax
All
my facial
7
hair.
strands of it.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, though.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, technically it is hair that grows on your face.
Yeah, I would consider it facial hair.
Isn't it just weird, though, that it only grows right above your eyebrows?
Okay, that is
Right
something
above
I
your eyes.
wonder. Why eyebrows?
Because I think the Lord knew it would look weird without them.
But if everybody didn't have eyebrows, nobody
then we
would look
never
weird.
know. Huh.
Maybe it's like prevention for like bugs getting in your eyes or
I
something.
thought that's what your eyelashes were for.
Well, that too, I guess.
And now I'm staring at your eyebrows going, why do we have these things?
Yeah, that is odd.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if you know, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Why do we have eyebrows?
There's probably a scientific answer to that.
Okay, are you ready for one of my questions?
Yeah.
So, most of the questions that I found were about, like, you know, things about each other. And then I was writing them down, and I realized every single one of these is just me asking you about myself.
About yourself.
Yeah. But anyway, we could both answer it about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's one thing you know about me that others would be surprised to know? And then vice versa.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, though. One thing about you that others would be surprised to know.
Yeah.
Like that other people don't already know.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, not a lot of people know that you have the world's weirdest pinkies.
Oh. The world's best pinkies.
I mean, they're just so tiny.
My pinkies are crooked
And tiny.
and tiny.
Yeah.
It's a genetic trait.
There was something else that I know about you that not a lot of people do. And I said it to someone the other day and they were shocked, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh,
It couldn't have been about Africa, I don't think.
probably not.
I don't know what it was, but your pinkies are weird, and I don't think a lot of people know that.
Oh, interesting. Okay, one thing I know about you that I think people will be surprised to know.
Oh, great. You've had time to think about these.
No, I have not.
Oh.
I've not even thought about it a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just as on the spot as you are. Let's see. I think, okay, anybody who's not in your immediate vicinity, like, let's say people who listen to the podcast that maybe know me but don't know you personally, I think they would be surprised to know that you love football games. Specifically, high school, hometown football games.
Yeah, I do.
And you will be the one screaming the absolute loudest.
That is a true story. And I was never a cheerleader. It was just, genetic.
just-
Me and my sister both can yell really, really loud.
Yeah.
I love a good hometown football game. If I was in person watching NFL, I would be more inclined to actually pay attention. But, like, on the TV, I just glance every once in a while. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not as into it as Braun is. Like, they will sit and watch every second of it, him and his dad. That's what we do on Sundays, is watch every second of football.
Nice.
But I do know a lot from watching high school football. I love being present. It's the feeling that you get when you're in the stadium. And it's just like all the fans are there just cheering. Yeah. I love it.
Your stuff is kind of about to drop through the gaps in the bleachers.
It's cold and rainy.
Yep.
Every time my parents come to watch, it's just so cold
So
and
cold.
so rainy every time. And they're just like, what in the world are we doing here? Interesting. Interesting question for you. At a movie theater, which armrest is yours?
Oh. I don't think of either of the armrests as mine. Because if I took one, then the other person wouldn't get one. So yes,
what
they
do you
would.
do with your
Wait.
arms?
I think I just keep them by my sides out of fear that...
That you're going to push somebody out of the way?
Yeah. Like, if I don't take either of these armrests, then the person next to me won't have to go through that dilemma, because they can just take the one that I'm next to. It just eliminates a lot of, like, thinking for the person next to me.
So Kelsey just sits, arms on lap next to her side.
Yeah,
doesn't
arms
do
on
anything.
lap.
Okay, so if you have a drink, what do you do with it?
I usually don't have a drink, but I would put it in the cup holder to my right.
Why don't you have a drink at the movie theaters?
I don't know. I'd rather have sour watermelons.
Sour watermelon.
Sour Patch Kids.
I'd rather have sour watermelons. Okay, yeah, I always put my drink in the cup holder to my right.
Yeah, okay, so I guess I would consider that, like, quote-unquote, my armrest.
Yeah. If you were on a
But-
first date, What would you consider that your armrest? What if the guy
Again,
was sitting on your right side and you guys have like a little elbow disgruntle?
Well, all the better. Little elbow disgruntle never hurt anybody.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, my elbow's there. How
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, I would still maybe consider that my armrest, but arms to the sides, just in case. Because you don't want them to have to think about it.
You don't want to accidentally end up holding hands with a stranger.
Mom would use an armrest.
If I'm sitting alone, I would use both. If there was nobody on either side, I'm using both armrests.
But why would you be at the movies by yourself?
Why would I not be at the movies by myself?
I don't go anywhere
Actually,
by
I never
myself.
have been, so.
I don't go anywhere by myself. Okay, next question.
Okay. Speaking of movies, if you and I were in a movie or TV show, what characters would we be?
Okay, what about The Office? Who are you in The Office? Okay, don't get mad about this one.
You're going to compare me to Angela, aren't you? I knew it. As soon as you opened your mouth, I was like, it's Angela, isn't it?
Yeah. I know, it's not like even her personality or anything. It's just like, she's just so like silent, like quiet and like but like sassy at the same time. But like even her outfits, and I'm not saying you're gonna be a cat lady, but she does love cats.
I do have 3 cats.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's Angela.
Oh, wow. You know, that's funny because when I first watched The Office in college, I related really strongly to Angela in just about every way because it was my freshman year of college. Those who knew me can attest. And then I watched it again, like, towards the end of college, like, watched most of, not the whole series because I still haven't finished it, but several seasons of it, and related much more to Pam.
Who am I in The Office?
Oh my gosh. Okay, you know the warehouse manager?
The black guy?
Why? Because he is also so sassy, but like, I don't know, like you can tell that he's kind of the life of the party and isn't afraid to speak his mind, but only in front of certain people.
I would not consider myself the life of the party, so that's really funny.
Yeah.
What is the guy's name? The warehouse manager.
What is his
Daryl.
Daryl!
Yes.
Maybe that's not right. It's not feeling right, but that's the only one that I can think of at the moment.
I do like Daryl. He's very, like... Never mind. Moving on.
All right.
Okay,
You can tell me later.
I have one more question. How far east can you go before you're going west?
Oh,
Or vice versa?
that is a great question.
Because, you know, in the Bible, it says that the Lord throws our sins as far as the east is from the west, or whatever.
Until they just smack up against each other when they meet up
Are
again.
they just going in a circle?
I think the east is always east. Because you're always going in that direction, you know?
Yeah.
And west is always west, but at some point, it is
But
kind
at
of the
some
other one,
point,
but
like,
not
if
really.
If the earth is round, like, you drive east, 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 east. When does it switch to west?
You end up west, but I think you're still going east. It's about directionality.
Okay.
That's
you're
how
right.
I feel.
I think you're right, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's all the good questions I had. The next one is just what's the most embarrassing thing you've witnessed me doing? And I don't feel like you have an answer for that.
I mean, I feel like you and I are always doing something embarrassing.
Yeah.
So...
Oh no.
Bible study.
No. You had to be there is all I'm going to say about that.
Have you ever witnessed me do anything embarrassing?
Yes.
What?
I'm trying to think of what it is, though. I think my favorite thing to witness you doing on a regular basis is staring, like zoned staring. Your zoned staring face is hysterical to me.
Is it embarrassing?
Maybe. It's
Well,
very
probably to
blank.
me.
Very blank. And you look very alarmed. It's like, I wish the people could see, but they can't. It's like this. Like terrified.
I wonder what's
Terrified,
going on in my
deep
brain
in
those
thought, and
moments.
alarmed. But yeah, I'm trying to think of something actually embarrassing, and I don't know what it would be. Well, we both kind of embarrassed ourselves running on the grass for our 10K training.
Was that embarrassing?
I mean, I felt a little embarrassed.
I don't know about that. Well, I mean, it really hurt the ankles, but
Yeah.
embarrassing. It has to be something we've done at the gym together.
Yeah.
I mean, besides bringing a baby with us to the gym that wasn't ours.
Yeah. I wasn't embarrassed by that, though.
Me either.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll think of something. The snow stopped, and that's sad.
Yeah, well, I guess that means our cozy podcast
I know, and
is
I'm
over.
done with my coffee. So
I'm not.
2 p.m. coffee is gonna ran into 3 p.m. Anyways, thanks for joining us on this very kind of cozy for us.
Yeah.
Hope you could put yourself in this situation. Blanket, coffee, snow,
Yes.
on the couch, snuggled up. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Hopefully with a guest or who knows.
Who knows? We really like to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, whatever the Lord wants us to do, it will be done.
Yes, and that is what we will do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Today's bloopers.
Beth has her ponytail right now flipped over like
It's just so
to make
wobbly.
bangs in front of her face.
These are some dry, crusty bangs.
You can just wiggle the mouse. It'll come back. It did this last time too and scared me half to death.
What's your password?
Oh, hold on. I can't give that away on the internet.
Well, we can cut it out. We're going to have to cut all this out anyway. I'm trying not to spill Kelsey's coffee
Hold
on
on.
my couch.
Whoa. How do you even hold a mug? Why? What?
I don't know what I'm doing.
I just did the same thing.
You guys can maybe say bloopers of the day.
I guess you can take the Angela. What's the phrase? You can
Interpret
you can take the
Angela side. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
never mind.
I was thinking about Kelly Kapoor. I am not Kelly. She's way too girly for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut that one out. But I think I know someone who reminds me of Kelly Kapoor. I just can't think of who it is. But
We
anyways.
should definitely name drop them on the podcast right now.
I know. I was like, huh? No, I'm just kidding.
I looked at these questions and I was like, they're meant to be like about our friendship. So I was
yeah.
these will be fun.
Yeah.
But then when it's not framed like that, it's like, so tell me about me.
I was just looking for like things to wonder about. Like,